Hey guys, it's me the American, and today we have the SOG Seal Pup, a knife trusted by the most elite forces on the planet and is relied on every day to be used in the most harshest, tactical, and survival situations around the globe. The SOG Seal Pup features 4.75 inches of AUS 8 steel, has an unsharpened swedge on that clip point design, the famous SOG powder coating available on their military and tactical models, serrations for fibrous materials, a full tang handle that is encapsulated by glass-filled nylon material, and to top it all off, this SOG is made in China. The SOG Seal Pup is about 0.15 inches thick, and for our Fuglycool fans around the globe that use the metric system, it is around 4 millimeters thick. Now, longtime viewers of the channel will say, hey, I thought that you already tested one of these before. Well, yes, I did, and it was an awesome test. This SOG Seal Pup that I tested is actually from Taiwan. You can see a little tiny little Taiwan stamp right there. And the serrations in the Taiwanese model, I think, are actually a little bit better than the Chinese model. That's one of the major differences there. They're very shallow on the Chinese model, and the Taiwanese model, they have a lot more room to cut fibrous material quicker, in my opinion. The logo is also different. Like the more stylized logo, the bolder letter font. This one's the outlined SOG letter font. And to be honest, the handles feel exactly the same. A little bit of a difference, except for this one says SOG in huge letters. This one says Specialty Knives and Tools SOG. So I'll go ahead and be testing out the Chinese model, and I'll see if it stands up to the Taiwanese legacy. By eye, this SOG looks razor sharp, but let's go ahead and put it to the test with a sharpness test. I'll be cutting into this piece of computer paper right here, shaving off strips here and there, and remember, when you shave off strips, you might get little microfibers flying around, getting into the eyes, causing irritation, maybe serious injury could result, wink wink. So, safety first, my friends, and definitely try this one at home, because if your knife cannot cut into a piece of computer paper as smoothly or as cleanly as a SOG Chinese knife can do, literally, you just have a blunt piece of metal on your hands. Let's try it out. Wow, check that out. Kind of reminds me of those Sensu commercials. Razor sharp. I've been practicing just for you guys and gals out there. Look at that. Perfect. Center cut, pull out. I don't see any crazy fraying or tears, so this one is definitely a go. Now, the SOG Seal Pup was designed as a survival knife for a marine type of environment, around a lot of water, especially salt water with that powder coating on there. But can it handle a terrestrial type of survival situation, such as Tinder for the fire? Now remember, safety first, my friends. I am using a large Texas-sized Gandalf walking stick here, and you really don't want a magical splinter to the eye. That would cause a lot of strange hallucinations and problems. Use more of a pushing motion here, right around here. Look at that. Perfect. It's real light, real thin chips, and I attribute the sharpness of the blade to the excellent performance for shaving tinder. Next up, we have the chopping test. I'll be chopping into this piece of 2x4 right here. It simulates a urban construction material. It's commonly available. You can find it everywhere. And we'll see how far this SOG will go in terms of chopping. Now, I don't really expect a lot. This blade is very thin, very light, and on top of that, it's a very short blade. I really don't like to chop with anything shorter than 6 inches, but as always, the mayor will test it for you. Now remember, safety first, and don't try this at home. That's why I'm here. Chopping around here. The SOG Seal Pup is a poor performer at chopping. Totally sorry, but let's go ahead and move on real quick. on to our next test. Since the SOG does have serrations, and I would highly assume that they're used for cutting, you know, fibrous material such as ropes, rigging lines, let's go ahead and put that to the test. I've got some 1-inch manila rope right below me right here. Let's see how quick this SOG serrations can get through that manila rope. Now remember, safety first, my friends, and you don't want rope burn to the eyes. I noticed a little bit more hesitation, a little bit more trouble than the last SOG test. These serrations are somewhat shorter than the other SOG Seal Pup serrations on the Taiwanese model, but I will say, in a pinch, it could be used pretty well, so it's actually not that bad. I mean, I would say that these serrations would definitely help you out in a situation that you would definitely need them for. Last up on phase 1 of testing is the tip test. I'll be stabbing this tip into the 2x6 below me, and I'll be rocking it back and forth. Hopefully, the tip will stay intact during this test. A lot of knives in the past have passed this test with ease, and a couple of knives have failed. So, I really hope that the SOG Seal Pup from China can hang in there with the big boys. Now remember, safety first, my friends. You definitely do not want to get a piece of metal to the eye. Stabbing here. There's 1, 2, 3. Come on. 4. Try harder. That's pretty deep in there. 5. Wow. And you know, the tip is actually very straight. I'm extremely surprised because this knife is actually pretty thin compared to other survival blades. But as you can see from this gigantic chip that came off of that 2x6, that the tip is actually extremely strong for its width. At the end of phase 1, I give the SOG Seal Pup from China a B+. It's actually a pretty nice blade. Now, what brought it down on the score was the serrations. I think they're a little bit too short. I think they should be a little bit deeper. It would cause a lot quicker fibrous destruction there. And the thickness of the SOG Seal Pup, it is a little less to be desired. So the chopping ability was very hindered by the actual thickness of the blade. Now everything else was perfect. You see right there, that tip, I mean, it's not even bent, and you can see these gigantic holes that were created from this tip. It was phenomenal. I actually expected it to bend or break off inside of the wood, but it has actually, it has overwhelmed me in terms of performance, and I think that it's going to be a solid performer. So on to phase 2. Starting off phase 2 of the marriage test is the edge retention test. I'll be striking this heavyweight concrete block right here with the edge of the SOG Seal Pup. After that, I'll go ahead and check out this lemon rind, cut it in half where it struck on this blade, and we will see how easy or how difficult it is cutting this lemon in half. Some of your viewers, they recommended a lemon instead of a lime, so I'm here to try it out for y'all guys out there. Now remember, do not try this one at home. Very dangerous test, extreme situation. Definitely, I've had blades break, but I'm here to test it out to see if it is tough enough to hang with the mirror. Safety first. Got the Power Glove 1 and Power Glove 2 activated. Be striking here in the center. I hit right around there. Wow. An extremely clean cut. I'm actually very impressed. Now the edge did take a little bit of damage right here around here. It chipped slightly, but the metal held together. I mean, to be honest, it's actually one of the best performers at the edge retention test that I've seen in a while. This AUS 8 Chinese steel seems to be holding up quite well. On to the next test. Here we have a brick versus the SOG Seal Pup. Another super controversial test, and I love it. I will be striking the spine of the SOG onto this brick here, and it will go ahead and show us how durable the steel actually is. If the steel can take multiple repetitions of this without fracturing or, you know, the steel itself shattering into many pieces, as another SOG has done in the past. Jungle War. Well, definitely, if it can stay together, we can go on to the next test. Is this test realistic? Possibly. I heard that the future has a lot of things to bring, especially the Mayan calendar, whatnot, you know, predicting the whole brickopolis of 2143, you know, brick men fighting against the last human survivors or something. I don't know. If you've got an idea or got any info on the brickopolis, leave me a comment in the comment box below. Tell me what you think, or tell me what you know history-wise. As always, mortar in the eyes, not very good. Safety first, don't try this one at home. I'm striking here. This might be a little bit long of a test. No cheating there, Fuglycool. Now the brick has been knocked down, but it's not out for the fight yet. Alright, after the repetitious strikes against this brick, it would not be a good choice against the brick people of the year 2143. But I will say that it still has a good chance of defeating a brick because it has stayed together. Now, this blade is very short, very light. So, to be honest, it really doesn't have a good power stroke, such as why the chopping test was so moot. I mean, in reality, this knife, I think it should be a little bit heavier, but so far it has stayed together. So the metal is sound and strong. On to the next test. And it's actually quite rare for the brick to be tied with a knife. What are you? Let's get that brick out of here. That brick is probably possessed. This thing should have went through it, I think. Step it up a notch to its bigger brother, the industrial cinder block. I will be striking the spine on this knife onto this cinder block. Let's see how well the SOG holds up. Now remember, extremely dangerous test, and sparks will fly. So, as always, safety first, my friends. Do not try this one at home. I am the Cinderologist. Sounded kind of weird, Cinderologist, kind of like Cinderellaologist, but definitely not related to Cinderella's in any way, but it is related to Cinderella's and masonry types of material. That's why you should definitely be careful and do not replicate these tests. That knife flew back at me, struck my leg, and to be honest, I really don't know if I'm bleeding or not, but let's keep going.
Come on, just die already. I'm going to get arthritis. I keep going at this. Meow.
Now I got a hammer blow. Let's check it out. Nope, still staying together. Couple more hammer blows. Still going. Meow! SOG Seal Pup. Definitely seal tough. Now remember,
If it bleeds, we can cure it.
meow. For phase 2, I give the SOG Seal Pup a solid B. It was very strong. The spine itself is intact. There's, no chipping of the metal, no mushrooming of the metal on the spine. So it's actually a very tough steel. For a stainless, it's extremely tough. Edge retention was great. And I'll tell you what, it was a very solid performer. Now, could you extract yourself through a brick or cinder block wall with the SOG Seal Pup? Yes, but it's a mixed yes. I believe that it would take you forever to get to the other side of that wall. So let's go ahead and go on to the next test and see how it does at the final phase. Last up on the mayor's test, we have phase 3. And let's go ahead and get rid of the cinder block here. Definitely need to go and push it to the max with the 50 cal GI ammo can. Metal on metal penetration. I'm the penetration specialist here for today, and I will definitely be showing you guys the tip of the SOG Seal Pup going straight into this GI 50 cal ammo can, used to haul ammo around the world in the most rigorous of military testings. They accepted this as one of the strongest methods of carrying ammunition for our military and for other militaries overseas. Now, as always, extremely dangerous test. Safety first, my friends. You really don't want to get a shaving of steel into the ocular area. I'll be striking here in the center, and before I do that, I'll get my handy dandy gloves. These gloves can really take a beating. I'll tell you what, I really love them a lot. They've saved my hands plenty of times, and as always, I test this stuff so you don't have to. I'll be striking here. Prop that back up there. It's a little lopsided. And here we go. Maximum penetration. Wow. Look at that. Definitely not too shabby. The tip itself is in great shape, and it still catches on my finger. Now I will say, when it came out of the box, it was extremely pointy, almost like a hypodermic needle. But now it has regressed into a slightly less sharpened tip, but it is still extremely pointy for what it is. Some knives that I've tested, the point just folds over or actually crushes inward and mushrooms. But this steel has been heat treated very, very well. On to the next test. Here we have the standing test. I'll be hammering this knife tip into this 4x6 right here, and I will be standing on it with all my weight. Can it support the mirror's weight when I embed this tip 1 inch to 1.5 inches into this? We don't know, so that's why I'm here to find out. Now remember, safety first, my friends, and don't try this one at home, as the blade can fragment. It could become loose inside of this encapsulated tang. There's going to be a lot of stresses put onto this blade from the hammering action. I'll be hammering from the back end, of course, and I'll tell you what, it's a good test of strength. If this blade can take that much pain and abuse, it is definitely worthy of the Mayor Fuglycool test. I'm hammering here. I just reached the inch mark. So let's go ahead and try it at an inch and see if the tip actually bends or breaks. Did not bend, did not break. It actually broke out the piece of wood right there. Let's go ahead and go about 1.5 inches in. Gotta try to pick an area that hasn't been used already. I just hit the 1.5 inch marker. Let's try it out. And we do have some bendage. From here, it bent to my right. Of course, the weight on the blade did bend that tip to my right-hand side. So, let's go ahead and check it out to see how much it actually bent from the axis. Now, the original reading was about 0.15 inches, but the deviation is now at 0.18 inches. So that's about 0.03 of an inch. That's quite substantial. And I'll tell you what though, I am very glad that it bent like this, you know, to the right, instead of actually shattering into, well, a couple of pieces. I prefer this type of heat treatment as it's less dangerous, it doesn't shatter, and on top of that, you still have usable blade left. I will say, SOG really did their homework with this one, and it is a very tough steel. Alright, Pup, what do you think about the SOG Seal Pup? What do you think? Alright, even you approve, huh? Alright, good job, Pup. Last up on our test, we have the pull-up test. Like a Navy SEAL, you have to stay fit, and I'll tell you what, I like to live dangerously. Safety first, my friends. And don't try this one at home. If the blade shatters, you could definitely miss a body part or two, or serious injury or death could occur. So definitely, let me handle the physical test of a lifetime. Locking it in. 1 seal pull-up, 2 seal pull-up, 3 seal pull-ups, 4 seal pull-ups, and 5 Navy SEAL pull-ups. Alright guys and gals, well, there you have it. The SOG Seal Pup has passed the Fuglycool test with flying colors. Definitely mayor approved. This little survival knife, I call it a little survival knife. It's underneath 5 inches, so to me it's a companion blade. Excellent shaving tinder, excellent everything else except for chopping, of course. You can't really expect that out of a, you know, short blade such as this. But the steel held up, didn't shatter into 1,000 pieces like other Chinese knives that I have tested in the past. SOG has really hit a home run. Definitely +1 to SOG. This Chinese Seal Pup can hang with the rest, with the Taiwanese model and with the Japanese model. The quality seems to be around the same. Now, I would like to also thank Merciful One. He is a longtime YouTube subscriber of mine. He's been there since the channel started, actually. And he's been +1ing all my stuff and telling me, Mayor Fuglycool, you should do this, that, and you should change up your tests here and there. And because of him, I was able to test this blade out for y'all guys. Definitely thank you to Merciful One. He's a really awesome guy, and I really enjoyed this test quite a bit, even though I was slightly injured. I mean, really slightly. I didn't even notice it, really. But to be honest, you know, he has been there every step of the way, and I really appreciate it. And you know, that avatar of that cobra on your profile pic on the G Plus is awesome. I like snakes a lot, and I'll tell you what, cobras are friggin' awesome. Definitely. Thanks, Merciful One. You're a really, really great fan of mine. And tell you what, if y'all guys, all my fans are very important to me, +1 my video. If you +1 my video, I get to the top of the YouTube charts, and it's easier for more people that are more in tune to the Mayor Fuglycool subculture to see my videos. Comment in the comment box below. Believe me, comments keep me alive at night. Awake at night and alive at night. I mean, without y'all guys commenting on my stuff, I'd be like, oh man, you know, I really like to see what y'all guys have to say. It helps my tests, it helps me improve some tests, or even take away a couple of portions of the test, you know, that are too mundane or drawn out. I'll tell you what, any type of comment you got is awesome. Leave it in the comment box below and tell me what you like, what you dislike. Just, you know, no foul language, please. If you do, you're probably going to get it erased from the YouTube comment box. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Every time you subscribe to the Mayor Fuglycool channel, you get all the crazy cool Mayor Fuglycool shisha action straight to your computer, TC, smartphone, tablet. Anywhere you have internet access, it'll go straight to you as soon as I post it. Now remember, these tests are extremely dangerous. I test this stuff right here, so you don't have to. And on top of that, I try to save you some cash by showing you how good and excellent a blade is before you decide on purchasing it. Now remember, as always, that's the Mayor, and thanks for watching. And definitely try this one at home because you want to know how sharp it is. There we go. I always botch the first one. Oh jeez, Batman, what are you doing? Batman, what are you doing?
He wants to take over camera duty.
Batman, you want to be the new camera operator? Or were you angry that I put safety glasses on while I was filming? Oh, Batman, what am I going to do without you?